Hello, I'm Erica Pearson from Unleash the Monster. I'm here with Doug Steele from Monster Government Solutions, and we're getting ready for some of our customers to come in and hear about Monster recruitment strategies. So Doug, what do you hope that our customers will come away with today?
Well, what we're hoping, Erica, is that today some of the audience of our customers will learn a little bit more about Monster Government Solutions. So what we are hoping is that they can learn some new ideas on how to attract the best talent to their job vacancies. We also want them to get some ideas of some tools that can help them assess and make that hiring selection, and overall get an idea of how they can get the best return on their investment in regards to their recruiting efforts.
Well, we're expecting about 50 people today. We're looking forward to hearing.
So I am here to talk to you guys, like Doug said, about one of our tools that Monster has recently developed, or I should say one of our technologies, which is our 6Sense technology. And primarily one of the first tools that we put out with that, which is our Power Resume Search. And here's kind of the difference between how things were searched versus how things can now be searched, right? So when we say keyword search, we talk about our classic keyword search system. And right now, if you're a recruiter, or if you have recruiters on your team, and they go and they log into Monster, and they go to say, okay, I want to search candidates. This is the form that they have to fill out. Now, they don't have to fill out everything on that form, but there's a lot of different fields that they can use available to them. For the most part, most recruiters are going to live right up here at the top, which is where they can do their keyword search string. Now, with Power Resume Search, it's a very simple form, and I can say, okay, I want a job title, years of experience, location, skills, boom, let's go. So, if I want to say, I'm looking for a local project manager with a military background that has ideally about 10 plus years of experience. How would I search this from a classic search point? Well, I'd have to come up with a pretty savvy Boolean search string. And to be honest with you, most recruiters aren't quite savvy enough on this. So this is even more of a at random with what's going to actually come back in their search results. But if I am a savvy Boolean searcher, I can come here and I can say, okay, well, I want someone with a military background. So they're either going to have Army or Navy or Marine or Air Force or National Guard, and I need someone that has project management. Right? There's all sorts of different complex things, like, using your quotes and your asterisks. And this is a search string it's still not all inclusive, right? Maybe I missed a specific military branch. Maybe someone says the word military, but they didn't actually list the branch that they work for. Right? So these are things that I might be missing out on. Then I would have to go through and I'm going to say, okay, I want a location of DC. So I'm saying local being here. So I'm going to look up the zip code if I don't know it. If I do, I can just type that in there. And then I can say, well, I want 10 plus years of experience. Well, there's actually not a way to search on years of experience the way that the current system exists. So I run this search, and I come back with my search results. And what you'll see here is that the first person that comes up is an executive consultant. The second one is director of contracts. And I'm thinking, well, great, I'm looking for a project manager. So how'd that happen? Well, these people actually have some version of the word project management on their resume, and they have some branch of the government that is on their resume, but they're not necessarily a project manager because I'm not searching on it from a context, right? I'm searching on it to say, do you have these actual characters in your resume? And I'm going to get thousands of search results, and you're like, how on earth do I get down to what it is that I need? Right? And I'm going to tell you how. You're going to sit there and you're going to have your recruiters or yourself go through a lot of resumes until you get to the ones that you need. Right? And maybe you can fine tune it and add some additional skills, but even then, it's not an exact science. It's not the best way to go through and sourcing, and it's not the best way because it takes a lot of time. Right? I see a lot of heads nodding like, oh yeah. I've gone there, you're like, I'm looking for a project manager, I got 1,000 candidates to look for. Thank you, Monster. Right? So here's some other examples of some of the search results that come back, right? Chief Information Officer, Senior Technician. Maybe these people worked as project managers in their past. Maybe they've, had a project manager that reported into them. So there's a lot of different ways that this could be looked at. So now we look at, all right, how can I run this in the new Power Resume Search, right? And I'm looking for a project manager with military as a skill or a keyword, location in Washington, D.C., and 10 plus years of experience. Just as simple as that. And I've got this search form, job title, project manager, years of experience, 10 plus, location. I don't have to even use the zip code anymore. I can now search just by typing in the place that I want. And then I can say military, and I can even toggle between nice to have and required. So as I add additional skill sets in, maybe I want the people that also have experience with Microsoft Project to float closer to the top, and I can even add that in there. So then I run my search, and here's the top of the search results, right? Project manager, project manager, project manager. And you'll also note their skills here. Well, the first person that comes up, they don't have the word military on their resume, but they do have United States Army, and guess what? That's part of the military. And as we go through here, you know, Army, we also see someone down here that has Marine Corps, and the list goes on and on. So what the system is doing is it's not only just saying, okay, I'm looking for an actual project manager, that's the context that I'm looking for. You're looking for military, well there's a concept behind military, right? It's Army, it's Navy, it's Marine Corps, it's Reserves, it's actually military, right? But it's also ranking these candidates against each other. So it's saying, all right, well, you wanted someone that has 10 plus years of experience. Well, you'll notice here 20 years, 15 years, 34 years. And it's saying, all right, this person has 20 years specifically with Army, so that's actually more military experience for the skill that I'm looking for. And what it's also going to do when it's looking at that profile is saying, how recently do they have that experience? So if there's a recent experience, then that person will get additional ranking against other candidates that might be coming out there. In our initial survey, 65% was the time saved using PRS versus other keyword-based searches. 65% of their time is saved. Think about that for a minute. So if you're spending 2 hours on sourcing, you're now spending 45 minutes. That's rough math, but it's about right. It's an hour and 15 minutes where you can now be doing social media. You can now be on you can be on the phones. You can be going to networking events. There's a lot of other things that recruiters need to be doing besides sitting on Monster and looking at resumes. So why can't we just find a way to just give you those resumes that you need and then go on with it? 150% is an increase in number of qualified candidates found. That's because most recruiters aren't super Boolean savvy, right? There's a lot of candidates that they're just missing out on because they're not searching every piece behind one of the concepts that maybe they're searching on. We get a lot of requirements that maybe, you know, technical requirements. How many people have IT openings? I saw that was one of the big things here, right? So if I have an IT opening for a Java engineer, so your recruiter goes through, they type in Java. Well, a recruiter doesn't necessarily understand the entire Java IT infrastructure. They may not understand that J2EE, struts, Tomcat, all of these things are part of Java. So if I have on my resume that I'm a, J2EE engineer and I talk about all of this experience, I'm perfectly qualified for your job, but I may not be coming back in your search results because you're searching on Java and I have J2EE. Right? So these are when I say 150%, that's just saying you're finding 1.5 people to every one that you were finding before. And you're finding them faster. There's a lot of power behind that. 90% are recruiters who prefer using PRS versus other keyword-based searches. And to me, it's like, well, duh, it's a lot easier. Right? As much as I want to sit here and try and figure out a formula to search, it's a lot easier to say, project manager, DC, check, done. And also, 97% of recruiters believe that PRS found qualified candidates faster, and that other data points to that exact same thing. So if I can go in and I can find them faster, I can get to the ones that are better, more qualified, faster, and those are coming up, and they're coming up in searches that may not have been, or they're coming up where they may not have been coming up in searches before. That really resolves a lot of the issues that we've been talking about today. And of course, a lot of from those surveys as well is just anecdotal recruiter feedback, right? It's easy, intuitive, and it works well. The simplicity and ease of navigation is there. Better candidates, faster results. I hear this time and time again. It works.